What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing a beer from the Bissell Brothers Brewing Company, and they're out of Portland, Maine, and this is their Angels with Filthy Souls, the 2019 vintage. So they're calling this one a blended barrel-aged Imperial maple porter that comes in at 12.4% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed in time of review. This can is approximately 8 months old. I'm going to give a huge thanks and shout out once again to a good friend of mine and viewer of the channel, Caleb. So thank you very much, Caleb. I truly do appreciate this one, sir. I will post a link in the description box to the beer mail unboxing video I did that contains all the goodies that Caleb hooked me up with. And when I saw this one, I was like, fucking cool. And that's because I've had, numerous beers from Bissell Brothers before, but usually they're hop forward beers. I've never had like a big barrel-aged Imperial Stout. So this was sounding absolutely delicious. The fact that it's a blended barrel-aged Imperial Maple Porter is, I just 12.4% maple. Now, one thing to know about me, when it comes to adjuncts and beers, 1A and 1B for me are coconut and maple. For me, maple can be better than coconut at times. I know that might be crazy to a lot of you who know me. I love coconut, but when you get a really well-made maple beer, it's hard to beat it. It really is. I just love maple. Maple anything in life. Like one of my favorite ice creams, maple walnut. I love maple cookies, obviously maple syrup on whatever, pancakes, whatever, waffles. I love maple syrup. So when I see it in a beer, I'm always intrigued. A lot of times I'm let down because a lot of times the maple flavor just doesn't come to the forefront, but I love trying them. So the chance to get to try this from Bissell is not lost on me. So thank you very much, Caleb. And I'm hoping this is delicious. Now, this has been out of the fridge for almost an hour, probably in like the 55, 60 range. Perfect temperature for me when it comes to like Imperial porters and stouts. And like I said, 8 months old. I'm hoping that the maple hasn't dissipated all that much. Now, when Caleb sent this one my way, it was like about 5 months old or so. Around 5 months old. So, a couple months shouldn't matter that much. At that point, probably either was faded or not. So we'll see. When I crack this open and drink it, now, again, this is blended barrel aged too. So probably blending different barrels and whatnot. I don't know. I'm into it. Uh-oh, it's going everywhere. So it's the one issue. We'll be all right. Let it settle down. Gonna have to wash the tablecloth. It's okay. It happens. Definitely gushed out here. Try to get a proper pour here. Something like that. Should be fine. Yeah. It's all right. It happens. I love the label on this one. Put it over here. But yeah, that's unfortunate. We'll take care of it. Anyway, this pours out really deep, dark black. Had about a finger and a half of this really just straight on dark brown colored head. It is dissipated to a thin film, probably, from the maple, from the barrel aging, from the whole nine. So it looks super viscous and thick. I mean, there's alcohol legs for days. Let's get a nose. Yeah, that smells delicious. Holy shit. So I get the maple. It's faded a little bit. It has like a generic sweetness, but I do get the hint of the maple. The barrel is fantastic. There's vanilla, the spirit's there. There's underlying chocolate. Yeah, it smells awesome. Ooh, I love it. I love it. Oh, now the maple is opening up in the glass way more than it was when I originally took this first sniff of it. I'm getting like chocolate covered maple cookies. It has this really nice like bready, like, roasted malt component to it. That's kind of giving me like chocolate, but like, just almost like cookie vibes. It's like sweeter. And then the maple comes in, and yeah. Vanilla is prominent too. Oh, the maple is just starting to kind of dominate, and I'm loving it. A little bit of like a coffee roast as well. I mean, this has a nice like base Imperial Porter type of feel to it, because I am definitely getting like a roastiness to it, almost like a charred type of malt character. But I love that I can smell the maple and the barrels there with the vanilla, the oak, a little bit of tannin presence, the spirit itself. Yeah, it smells fucking awesome. Let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. Thanks again, Caleb. The fucking body on this thing is immaculate. Holy shit. Wow, that's like fucking straight up syrup. This is full-bodied beyond belief. Shout out to Paul over at Brew News, great friend of mine, fellow beer tuber. He likes to say beers are a bit thin when they are. This is not thin. This is exactly what you want out of 12.4% Imperial Maple Porter. Blended, barrel-aged Imperial Maple Porter. Body's full body, thick, syrupy, chewing it almost. The mouthfeel, it has carbonation, clearly, but it has a nice soft smoothness to it. It's not really creamy per se, but definitely really nice. Then taste up front, hit with tons of chocolate. The maple's there. There's dark cherry, dark berries, dark fruit in general, right at the forefront. It's sweeter. It has fruity components. It has the maple. It has the chocolate. That hits me right at the tip of the tongue. First thing that I taste. As it passes through the palate, the roasty, almost charred-like malt character hits me. And then that carries the blended, like, barrel-aged component through the palate. The maple, the chocolate, the fruity components start to dissipate, and the barrel comes through. It has, like, almost a bourbon type of note to it. There's vanilla. There's oak tannins. And then it finishes with a semi-dry, slightly bitter, but more leaning towards the sweet side of things. Also up front, right after all that sweetness, there's a little bit of like a coffee roast as well. This might be the best body I've ever had on something calling itself an Imperial Porter. I know it's 12.4%, so you're talking about a beer that's a porter, not a stout. And a lot of times, nowadays for me, when you're talking about a porter or stout, there's not really many differences. You can go into the history of, porters and stouts and what's the difference. For me, and how I feel about it is, like, usually if I'm looking at a beer on a shelf and I see Imperial Porter and I see Imperial Stout, or I see Porter and Stout, what I'm thinking in my mind is the Porter is going to be less roasty and less of a body. And that's pretty much the difference in my mind. Probably not correct, but there's a gray area there, right? That there's you'll ask 20 different people and you probably get 10 different answers. It's one of those things where there's a huge difference, but there's not. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things. But this, as far as body for an Imperial Porter, best I've ever had. Hands down. This is like fucking syrup. Like, I've never had an Imperial Porter like this before. But even if this was called an Imperial Stout, I'd still think this is one of the best bodies I've ever had. It's fucking delicious. The 12.4%, I can taste the fact that it's a big beer, mostly because I'm getting a big warming in my chest, into my stomach. On the palate, fuck no. I mean, I can taste that it's a bigger beer, but there's no, like, alcohol astringency. There's no, fumes into my nose from the alcohol. It's not like anything like that. I'm fucking drinking this super quick. This drink's like it's 10%, not 12.4. I thought this was going to be good. Knowing Bissell, they make good stuff. Like I said, never had any of their, like, Imperial anythings before. This is fucking divine. This is a delicious beer. It's not perfect, but it's fucking really good. And I'm kind of at a loss for words at how good this is. Like, I get the maple, I get the base beer, I get the blended portion. It's not too sweet. It's not too bitter. The body's fucking amazing. The mouth feels really good. This is just a fucking great beer. Great beer. So, rating on the Angels with Filthy Souls, the 2019 vintage from Bissell, 4.75 out of 5. It's fucking absolutely divine. This is fucking great beer. Like, there's not much more I can say about it than it's awesome. I'm gonna enjoy every second of this. Man, now I'm starting to get, like, the aftertaste of, like, those dark berries, dark fruits again on the back of the palate. Like, the finish is evolving and changing as I speak. Goddamn. Thank you, Caleb. I really do appreciate this one. Price point and availability, I have no idea. I would pay $8 a can for this. That would be like the upper echelon what I pay for a 16-ounce can of this. I'd imagine it's probably cheaper than that. I have no idea. But like $8 a can would be the upper echelon what I pay, but I think that would be good value. If it's higher than that, it depends. Knowing what I know now, I would probably pay like $10 for a can of this to try. But I think $8 a can would be like the point in which I would be like, all right, that's fine. If this was like $6 a can, fucking awesome value. If it's cheaper than that, then fuck me, like I'd buy a case of it. This is awesome. Availability, I have no idea. I know Bissell used to be brewery only, and then they started getting distro, different places, stuff. I have no idea. I think a beer like this is probably brewery only or like small distro in Portland. But Caleb, if you know the distro, you know the price point, which you probably do, post in the comments. yeah, this is fucking probably the best beer that Caleb sent to me. Not much more to say about it. I do have one other Imperial beer I'll be reviewing from Caleb, which is a Imperial barrel-aged Imperial Gunner's Daughter from forgot the brewery off the top of my head. I don't know. It was behind. It used to be behind me on the protector's wall, bottles and cans. I don't know. It might still be up there. I don't remember. I'd turn and look, but I don't want to. But that beer is going to be my 900th beer review because the base beer of that was fantastic. So I can't wait to get in that one. But it's going to be hard pressed to beat this because this is fucking upper echelon, next level, just delicious fucking blended barrel-aged Imperial maple porter goodness. So once again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much, Caleb. Thanks to everybody for supporting the channel, for listening to me ramble about fucking beer and just saying dumb shit in general because whatever. I'm not good at this, but what I like about this is it's fun. It's a lot of fun. I like interacting with you guys. I like talking about beer. Even though I usually do a poor job doing so, I don't really care because whatever. It's a lot of fun. So thanks for all the support. Thanks for everything, and appreciate everybody stopping by. To the next one. Cheers.